Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, welcome back to another edition of Star Citizen 3.3.6, and today is the day. I mean, the day. That's right. Today is Aegis's turn. That was a weird smile. Aegis's turn at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. So, let's not waste any time. Let's get down there because there is a lot to see. And here we are. So, I decided to skip right to the meat and potatoes. And if you can make it out, right behind me is the crown jewel of the UEE. Well, I guess really it's more like a prince of the monarch of the monarchy. It's the prince of the monarchy of the UEE, the Idris-M. That's right, there is a beautiful Idris-M sitting right back there behind me. And of course in the foreground you might be able to see right over there is the Anvil Arrow. But who the fuck cares about the Anvil Arrow when there's a giant Idris-M? Let's go. Now, it might be hard to see, especially considering just the sheer size of the ship in and of itself. But that is just one of the rear engines. One of the rear, I think, double engines that this behemoth has. This thing is a masterpiece. I mean, what can you say about the Idris-M that hasn't been said already? One of the largest and strongest ship available to the civilian market. Basically a non-government entity. The best, biggest, ballsiest, strongest, most ballin' ship that you can get as a civilian. And it's just bristling with weaponry. Now, keep in mind, this is just at the top portion of it. We're probably at about mid-deck. And if I recall correctly, the Idris has at least three decks. And I believe there's even like a utilitarian deck, or like almost like what do you call those? Like hideaway areas, not hideaway, not smuggling, but like catwalks, something along those lines. And boy, is she beautiful. Getting another look at the front with those massive, I think those are size 6 or size 7. It's got to be bigger than that. Those look way larger. But again, this is magic. And once again, here we are, have another front quarter panel view of, well, of sorts. Right behind me, to your right, my left, right over here, you're going to see the giant railgun. Now this thing, if I recall correctly, is a size 10. 10. Count them. 1, 2, 6, 9, 8, 10. Railgun. That is going to pack a whole big wallop. I mean, there is very little that will be able to stand up to a round size. Hell, other capital ships, other Idrises, Idris? Other capital ships will have a hard time dealing with this type of munition. This ship is absolutely gigantic. And welcome back. Now, even though, in my opinion, the Idris is and was the best part of the Expo that Aegis was showing off in, and well, let's be honest here, they're definitely showing off. I figured that we would still continue on, show you the other ships of the Aegis line, because, I mean, really, Aegis rocks. Now, as you can see, directly behind me, there is actually the Aegis Reclaimer. Let me see if I can get a good angle here. Oh, no, oh, come on, let's, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so, we've got the Aegis Reclaimer way back there in the background. And then to my right, your left, we have the Aegis Gladius, and then Space Dogs. Apparently there are also Space Dogs. Those do not come standard with any of the Aegis shit. Shut up, Space Dog! Sorry. Hey. Anywho, so, you will also be able to see the anvil arrow right in the center, and then if we look over here, we will also, oh god, the cameraman is drunk, you will also be able to see the Gladius Valiant, which is basically the Gladius with a couple of splotches of yellow paint and a different weapons loadout. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so it seems I actually had those a little bit off. The one that's right behind me now is actually the default Aegis Gladius, but there's so little difference between the two. You can't blame a guy for getting them confused, am I right? Yeah, that's right. So, since the Gladius is somewhat ubiquitous, let's take a look at the Valiant. Okay, now as you can see right behind me, well, you might be able to see, to your right, my left, right over here, the nose weapon for the Gladius Valiant is actually a Panther, where the wing weapons are also, I believe, Omni-Sky weapons, versus the regular Gladius, which has the Ballistics Gatling for the nose weapon, and two Badgers for the wing weapons. Again, only other difference aside from that is the Gladius Valiant back here has a couple of extra yellow splotches all around the body, and maybe there's like one or two more decals. Other than that, everything else is just the same. So, now let's move on to the Reclaimer. So, as you can see, directly behind me, you might have to squint because the ship might be a little bit small, but right behind me is the Aegis Reclaimer. I would say the best, biggest ship for salvage, even if it is the only ship for salvage. So I'm not wrong, and it wins by default. The Reclaimer is actually quite famous for the giant claw that you can see, which is bathed in light directly below the light sources, which are on the hull of the ship as well. And then, as you can also see to your right, my left, right behind me, is one of the Vanguard series ships. And I believe that's either I think that's the Hoplite, actually, which is the troop transport. So, making a perfect segue, as you can see right behind me is the Aegis Hoplite. The Hoplite, which again is the troop transport version of the God, there's so many fucking ships. Not the Warden, Vanguard. There we go. The Vanguard Hoplite. Boy, that was hard to remember. Halfway decent ship, especially for troop transports. Next up is going to be the Avenger line, right over here to... Damn it, camera guy. Over here to your left, my right, wow, brain my damage. On your left, my right, is going to be the Avenger Warlock, which is the EMP variant of the Avenger series. Then, if we turn ever so slightly, Steve, stay with me on this one. Hey, that wasn't too bad. And then, again, to my your left, my right, is just the... Steve, what are you doing? That's better. Can you keep the damn camera still, please? Thanks. So, now, once again, to your left, my right is going to be the base Avenger Titan model. Really, the main differences between the Warlock and the Titan is the Warlock has the EMP module. Other than that, I do believe they are completely alike. Okay, now, rounding out the last couple of ships that Hall A has to offer is the Saber line. So, to your left, my right, is going to be the Saber Comet with the really neat digital urban camo with the blue accents, which has a completely different weapon loadout than the base Saber, which we will get to in just a moment. The Saber Comet is more geared towards anti-fighter, close quarters type shooting, because it has two scatter guns, two size 3 scatter guns. It's the rear weaponry, and I believe two, I think it was the Omni Skies? I don't know, I think they changed the front weapons, but the front are size 2 when they're gimbaled, where the weapons in the rear are size 3 and they are fixed. Yes, I do believe these are the Omni Skies, I think. If not, please correct me. Last but certainly not least is the base Aegis Saber, one of the premier dogfighting ships. Now, they've recently made a loadout change to this one as well. Things that stayed the same were the 2 rear size 3 Panther repeaters, and I recall it used to be, for the front loadout, 2 gimbaled size 2 Badgers, but I believe they have since unified the weapons loadout and made it 4 fixed size 3 Panthers. Wow, that was a bit of a brain my damage. That was a bit of a mouthful and I still fucked it up. Okay, now let's head to Hall B. And welcome back to Hall B, which is going to be the final stop on the Aegis IAE stage. Once again, you will see the 2 Aegis Gladiuses? How would... What's the plural for... Anywho, we've got 2 Gladius ships right behind me, as well as a few others. Now, you might be able to notice the Eclipse in the center of the background, and then in the background? Is that what it would be? The forebackground is the Eclipse, and the background is the Aegis Hammerhead. Let's check it out. Once again, you can see the beautiful Gladius Valiant right behind me with its updated loadout. Again, more for ship-to-ship combat, even though, you know, Badgers and Gatlings on the original Gladius would do just fine. But hey, I'm not in marketing. And as you can see here, we have the Aegis Eclipse. The Aegis Eclipse is a stealth bomber type ship, which definitely looks the part. It has a couple of size 9 or size 10 torpedoes, and it can pack a hell of a wallop in a small shape? Small ship? Bomber? Yeah. It's pretty, it's stealthy, it makes things go kablooey! Now, as you can see, once again, behind me, we have the Saber Comet all the way at the end, the Saber Base, and then to your right, my left, we have the Saber Raven, the EMP variant of the Saber series. Now, it's kind of the EMP variant of the Saber series, wherein that it actually has a different hull and different weapons, and has the EMP loadouts. This ship was a little bit contentious when it first came out, but CIG nerfed the fuck out of it. So now, nobody gets to have fun. Okay, I'm being a little facetious, but in my opinion, they did. They nerfed it way too much. But, hey, I'm not in marketing. And moving right along, Really? We're filming here. Unprofessional. Anyway, like I was saying, so, as you can see right behind me, we have the beautiful newcomer, the Aegis Hammerhead. This ship here, this sub-capital gunship, was made in record time. It only took about 9 months or so from concept to flight ready. They used some of the parts from the Idris, did different palette swaps, different colors on them, different atmosphere, and I gotta say, it came out really, really good. Only real complaints are for a ship this size, the pilot is basically useless. I mean, obviously he's gonna fly you, get you from A to Z, and so on and so forth, but the only weapons available to the pilot are a bunch of size 3 missiles. And for a gunship bristling with the amount of weaponry that it has, the pilot should have access to at least one of those turrets, preferably the single top turret right near the bridge. Now, if nobody was in that turret, I think that should be slaved to the pilot, but I'm not in marketing. Okay, moving right along, directly behind me we have the Vanguard, I remembered this time, the Vanguard Warden. Once again, very similar loadout to its hoplite counterpart, the Troop Transport, wherein the Warden is actually a medium fighter class ship. The medium fighter Warden has the same weapon loadout as the cousin hoplite. They both have the size 4 Revenant weapon, as well as the 4 fixed, I think they're like size 2 M3A type weapons. I don't think they're M3As, because M3As are size 1, so M4As? Is it M4As? I think it's M4As. I'm just gonna say M4As. It's the size that's above the M3A. And if I recall correctly, the M3A -2 is size 1. So 5A, 5, 4, 3. No, that's size 3. 4A -2. Yeah. So, but I'm not in market. Now, once again, you can see the Warden right in the back there, with the hoplite closer. The only 2 ships of the class that are of the Vanguard class that are available are the Warden and the hoplite currently. but there are a few more variants on the way, one being an EMP ship and one that's like got a bunch of dumbfire rockets and shit. Honestly, I don't remember. I just remember one of them's like electronic warfare, and if I recall, the other one had like a whole bunch of rocket pods. Honestly, all you really need is a Warden. The only thing the Hoplite did better was its ramp comes down faster. That's it. Yeah, if they could just take a couple of the things that make the Hoplite good, mainly the back ramp opening. Or no, I'm sorry, no, I take that back. The Warden has the good ramp. The Warden's ramp opens real fast, and that's a medium fighter, where the Hoplite's ramp opens up real slow. And it's like, you know, for a troop transport, you need that door to fucking open so you can get your troops fucking out of there. Not dilly-dally like D-Day where the doors were dropped really slow and all of a sudden the rounds are coming through and oh my god, look out, oh he's going down, he's going, look out for Charlie's up in the trees, look out there, up there, there. Moving on. Now, directly behind me, you can see the Aegis Retaliator Heavy Bomber. Pretty straightforward on this one. It is a heavy bomber. Now, by heavy bomber, this thing has like 7 size, I think it was 9 or 10 torpedoes. Those torpedoes are damn near insta-kill if they land. Given that they're so massive, they're actually relatively slow, so depending on the ship, you can outrun them. But if you're in something like a Hammerhead, or, you know, another capital class ship, you are not outrunning those torps. You might have a chance if you deploy some countermeasures, but anything else? Once again, another thing I'm not liking about the Retaliator here, no weapons for the pilot, aside from, again, the torpedoes. It's bristling with turrets, though. There's like 5 or 6 positions for manned turrets. And if you can see right up there behind me, that one turret that's kind of sticking up off the roof, once again, it would be so simple to just slave that one turret to the pilot's seat. So that way, if you do happen to fly around solo because maybe your entire crew happened to desync or something happened to them, you're not just a giant fucking floating target out in space. But I'm not in marketing. Okay, we've touched on these a little bit earlier, but there was one more variant that we did not get around to show. Well, 2 variants, but one of them really isn't worth your time, and that's the Stalker. The Avenger Stalker is like a poor man's bounty hunter ship. Well, I mean, maybe not poor man's, but its loadout certainly seems like it's the poor man's bounty hunter ship. It comes with like 6, I think, 4 or 6 cells, so you can take prisoners, but the only weapons it has really is the ballistic Gatling, because the 2 wing weapons are Joker Sucker Punch weapons. And I'll tell you, somebody definitely had a sense of humor, because those sucker punches are a joke. A serious joke. I don't even want... It's a joke. But the Renegade, which is that nice blue and yellow number over there to your right, my left, is, well, it's okay. Also has the... Anywho, the Renegade also has the front nose weapon Gatling, but for its wing weapons, it has a couple of size 1 broadsword ballistic weapons, so you're all ballistics, a full ballistic loadout that you're running on the Renegade, and that can be a good or a bad thing, especially depending on your play style. If you're more of a spray and play... Wow. spray and pray fighter, you don't want it. But if you're the type that really lines up your shots and you're pretty accurate, the Renegade might not be a bad ship for you. Okay, and that's about it for the Aegis Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Aegis definitely came out swinging this year. I gotta say, I really enjoyed that nice surprise with the Idris. Even though it was kind of telegraphed with a couple of the leaks and the glitches that some people were found, either way, it was something that is still absolutely incredible, and I, for one, salute you. So, Aegis, wait, good job. Good job, Aegis. And that should about do it. So, thank you very much for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below in the comments section. Right down there, right? You know, just look down there. If you like this video or you like this format of the video, please leave a like, as that lets me know that I should do more ridiculous shit like this to make myself look like a complete fucking idiot. Nah, I keyed. This was actually kind of fun to make. So, thank you very much for watching. All you beautiful bastards out there, you have yourselves a wonderful day, morning, evening, whenever, wherever you just so happen to be. And my mouth has stopped working. I think I'm having a stroke. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, this has been Will, Day Late Gamer, signing off. Love, peace, chicken grease.